when we play music on the drums or use pens, cardboard, whatever, our hands, our voices, it brings a connection in the room, especially with about 20 people who don't know each other, who've never seen each other before, and it helps us put aside all the things, all the assumptions we may place on other people, or any negative feelings. It's something that I can't explain until we get into it. It could be anything in the ring. It's the king. I'm a young king.
Hey, and
Census is a count of the population of people living in America. The uses of the census is to have more congressional seats for our state, as well as provide funding of $675 billion across the entire United States. New York is definitely undercounted, and we lost a lot of congressional seats. We went from 45, I believe, to 25? 27? 27. And that the congressional seats are the seats that determine how the money will be allocated, who gets the money, right? Being that you are the older generation, how has the census affected you if you knew about it? Or even if you didn't know about it, what things have you seen affected by the census?
When I was younger, it seemed like there would just be a nosy.
Right.
It seemed like you just wanted to know what was going on in our house. It wasn't defined to me. Maybe my parents knew more of what it was truly for. I didn't learn till I was older, and I applaud you for having the information that you have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the money's being allocated, and for congressional seats and this and that. That wasn't my focus coming up. The census was like, they just want to know who lived here, and like Greg said, we never seen change. We never seen any of whatever monies. So my interest in the census was null and void. I thought, all right.
I want to talk about information. I ain't have a clue. You're more informed than I ever would have even came to even think of the census was about congressional money, anything like that.
This probably be like one of this generation right here. I think is more impacted in regards to the census than the previous generations. Because I know my parents, they was always on don't answer no door, and a lot of times the cases is I'm from Queensbridge, so as when I was growing up, so when you're knocking on somebody in the door, like you're knocking on you white, Caucasian, nobody opening the door. You talking about how many people we got in the house, and nobody. No, that's not happening. So now that times has changed and people have been more clear and more transparent, so to say, on what the true purpose of having a census is, I believe more people might start to awaken and interacting this time. Because they said 2020 is about vision, right? So some type of transparency had to be laid out so everybody can feel a little bit more comfortable in engaging in anybody that's even speaking about a census. Because in the generations prior, it was not even to be exist like taboo. Like, nah, we Stat.
Get away from my door.
Right.
You know, did we pay much attention to it? I don't think we did. Basically because of that fact, they were speaking on about, yeah, nobody come to the door, nobody answer the door, you know, stuff like that.
Because we're not signing, we're not telling you who's in the house. So the count could be off because of
All
that,
the time.
because of fear.
Right.
You know,
False
and
evidence.
I believe if more youth or more people knew what it was really about, it would be more people counting. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
You know, but now I can see, based on the information you gave me, right, whether or not it pans out. This is mathematics, this is science, this is the foundation of everything. We need to take that information, and we need to spread it, and let everybody know, so they can make an informed decision when they get that knock on the door, when they get that letter in the mail that needs to be filled out. They can say, well, I need to take the time to fill this out because this could be beneficial to me and to my family and to my community.
that's key. Like, coming up, it was like we feared the census, right? Feared something we had no knowledge of. Now knowing what I know, the agenda should be informing. Because believe me, if you're teaching just, it's only how many? About 6, 7 of us in here. None of us knew what you were talking about or had knowledge of how serious this is. So, education as far as not fearing the census, right? Getting the information out so that people can be counted for. That should be like #1 priority because everything else is under the table if we don't get that done. That should be like first priority.
I remember when I became conscious of the census, I noticed that there were certain blacks that did not identify themselves as black, you know, and the different things like that.
But I had no idea it was really for a greater purpose.
From my age back, it's like that's a no-go.
Because of technology, you have more access to the information today. You know, so basically like whatever you really want to know is on the phone or the computer. You can get it in some type of way once you Google.
And we're a microcosm of the larger community. So what you have to do is, we have to, we have to somehow get that information to everybody. Because I know I'm going to do it. When I leave here, I'm going to
I could put something right on
research.
the, right.
I'm going to research it, right? Cross-reference it, and I'm going to give it to everybody that I know.
Right.
Because if I didn't know, they didn't know. You know what I mean? And I think
Share.
what's needed is an information campaign to get this information to the community.
We are not begging for the funding from the census. We are owed the funding from the census. There is a point up to which you can continue to talk. And after that point, other measures need to be taken to secure that certain goals are met, right? And that's something that we can all attest to regardless of the race, right? And that's something that cannot be misconstrued.
All right.
Hey.
Check it. Now, as I grew up, things wasn't right in my home. Walked around feeling all alone. Things will get better. Yeah, that's what my mama said. But I didn't listen or believe, so instead, I hit the street with a mind on my own. Some crazy ass thinking. Finally thrown into the hands of the devil, man. Started selling different. To get what wasn't given. But still, it's up moving. Now you get it. I'm trying to tell the story.
It's evident through living in communities that can be so much greater. For the past 10 years, we've only created greatness from a sliver of our infinite potential. With the funding of the census, Southeast Queens will be able to express the depth of its essence and be a stronger community. Make sure you fill out the census today.